On the last day of August, thousands of lives were changed forever. We've become used to seeing tragedies as mere statistics, not human stories. But behind this indifference hides a terrifying threat to us all. See the full report in the weekly summary of last week's extreme weather. Afghanistan. On August 29th, torrential rains hit Afghanistan's Nangarhar province, triggering sudden flash floods. Dozens of homes were destroyed in the affected areas, with roads, dams, and irrigation canals severely damaged. Thousands of hectares of farmland were wiped out. In the Spin Gar area, the roof of a home collapsed during the rain, killing 2 young girls and injuring 3 other members of their family. In total, 5 people lost their lives in the province due to the severe weather. Late in the evening on August 31st, Afghanistan's eastern provinces were struck by a powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 6.0. The epicenter was located about 27 kilometers, 17 miles, from the city of Jalalabad, and the quake originated at a shallow depth of just 8 kilometers, 5 miles. Across the country, more than 2,200 people were killed, and over 3,300 were injured. At least 10 aftershocks of magnitude 4.0 or higher were recorded over the next 2 days. 3 of them exceeded magnitude 5.0 and struck at depths of less than 11 kilometers, 7 miles. According to local residents, these tremors leveled buildings that had only been partially damaged by the main quake. Entire villages were reduced to rubble, with more than 6,700 structures reported destroyed. Access to some of the hardest-hit areas was impossible. Narrow roads were blocked by rock slides and landslides, and the region's rugged terrain made aid delivery extremely difficult. Helicopters were used to transport the injured to nearby hospitals. Due to a lack of professional rescue services, local residents carried out search and rescue operations themselves. Without proper equipment, they dug through the debris of mud brick and stone homes with their bare hands. Aftershocks repeatedly interrupted the search for survivors, costing precious time that could have saved lives. Eyewitness accounts highlight the scale of the tragedy. A 14-year-old boy was injured when his home collapsed completely, killing 5 members of his family. He managed to rescue only his father, whose voice he heard from beneath the rubble. This earthquake ranks among the most devastating the country has experienced in decades. Europe. Hurricane Erin, which intensified in the Atlantic to a Category 5 storm, later transformed into one of the most powerful extratropical cyclones in recent decades. Europe found itself at the mercy of the elements, with gale-force winds, 14-meter waves, and record-breaking rainfall that led to power outages, severe flooding, and landslides. On August 28th, a cyclone struck the French island of Corsica, bringing intense thunderstorms and hail. Downpours at times reduced visibility to 0, but the main damage came from powerful wind gusts, reaching up to 159 kilometers per hour, 99 miles per hour. In the commune of Calvi, a rare incident occurred at the airport. A stationary ATR-72 passenger plane was lifted by the nose and turned 45 degrees by a storm gust. The strong winds toppled numerous trees, damaged infrastructure and buildings, and left around 10,000 customers without power. Within just 2 hours, 800 lightning strikes were recorded. On August 29th, 7 tornadoes were reported across France, 4 of which hit the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region. 2 of them reached IF1 intensity, causing damage to buildings, trees, and crops. The Lombardy region in Italy was hit especially hard. In the commune of Busto Arsizio on August 28th, more than 100 millimeters, 4 inches of rainfall, was recorded, triggering flooding. The next day, a tornado destroyed a solar power plant in the commune of Vereto, in the province of Pavia. The facility housed nearly 12,500 panels, and its destruction left most of the town without electricity. The tornado also tore off rooftops, and a century-old tree fell onto a road, blocking traffic. Storm damage also affected the Trentino Alto Adige region. In the city of Riva del Garda, a lightning strike hit a house, causing a fire and damaging gas lines, which led to the evacuation of 9 families. In the Piedmont region, a hailstorm caused serious damage. In the area between Ivrea and Pavone Canavis, hailstones measuring 7 to 8 centimeters, about 3 inches, in diameter dented cars, shattered windows, and destroyed rooftops, window frames, and many photovoltaic panels. There were no reports of serious injuries, but residents were left stunned by the destructive force of the storm. The storm also affected several other European countries. The cyclone struck Ireland and the United Kingdom with wind gusts in some areas exceeding 160 kilometers per hour, 100 miles per hour. Over a 48-hour period, the Western Alps, the Massif Central, and northern Spain received up to 200 millimeters, nearly 8 inches, of rainfall, leading to landslides and river overflows. The remnants of Cyclone Erin caused prolonged storm surges along the Baltic Sea in the Baltic states and Finland, with water levels rising 1 to 1.5 meters, 3 to 5 feet, above normal. In the Balkans, Hungary, and parts of Italy, temperatures soared 8 to 10 degrees Celsius, 14 to 18 degrees Fahrenheit, above average, setting records for late summer heat. The cyclone even reached Central and Eastern European countries. It is extremely unusual for a former tropical hurricane that formed in the Atlantic to reach Europe and retain enough strength to impact such a large portion of the continent. Argentina. Residents of central Argentina endured a night of hardship on August 31st as the typical Santa Rosa storm developed into a powerful weather event with record-breaking rainfall, triggering widespread flooding, destruction, and disruptions to infrastructure. In the capital, Buenos Aires, the rainfall lasted several hours, accompanied by wind gusts of up to 70 kilometers per hour, 43 miles per hour. Many northern towns in Buenos Aires province were inundated. In the area of Carlos Casares, locals reported losses of crops and livestock. In Mendoza province, the storm left over 100 people without shelter, brought down trees, tore off rooftops, and produced large hail. Due to heavy rain, snowfall in the highlands, and dense fog, traffic on National Route Number 7 was completely suspended. International mountain passes connecting Chile and Argentina were temporarily closed on both sides for safety reasons. In Córdoba province, the city of Cruz Alta was hit hardest by flooding. 330 millimeters, 13 inches, of rain fell within 24 hours. The city's low-lying position worsened the flow of water from surrounding areas. The flood damaged homes, roads, and caused severe soil erosion, threatening agriculture. A similar flood occurred in the town of Maria Teresa, located in a basin in Santa Fe province. The flooding dealt a devastating blow to the agricultural sector in central Argentina. Thousands of hectares were submerged, machinery couldn't access the fields, and as a result, both planting and harvesting of key crops, soybeans, corn, sunflower, and wheat, were severely disrupted. Sudan. On August 31st, after continuous heavy rains, a massive landslide struck the border area between Central and South Darfur provinces. The village of Tarsin, located in the Mara Mountains, was completely buried under mud and rocks. More than 1,000 people lost their lives in the disaster, with only one resident surviving. This landslide is the deadliest in the country's recent history. Rescue teams worked under extremely difficult conditions. Rugged mountainous terrain, ongoing heavy rains, destroyed roads, lack of communication, and active armed clashes. The disaster is worsened by a severe humanitarian crisis in the region, plagued by armed conflicts, famine, and mass population displacement. Residents of nearby villages fear the tragedy could repeat if the heavy rains continue. Tornadoes and waterspouts. On August 29th, 3 tornadoes were observed simultaneously on the Reykjanes Peninsula in Iceland. One of the funnels was spotted and filmed by a witness near the town of Vogar on the shore of Faxaflói Bay. 2 other tornadoes formed near the Sundhnúkur volcanic craters, not far from Grindavik. The vortices lasted for about 3 minutes, spinning over the volcanic terrain. Tornadoes are extremely rare in Iceland. Only 13 such events have been recorded since the 1980s. The simultaneous appearance of 2 tornadoes in one area can be considered an absolutely exceptional event. Eyewitnesses reported a waterspout observed on August 30th over the Ob River near Surgut. The vortex, which formed from convective clouds, hovered over the water for some time without posing any threat. It's worth noting that for Surgut, located in a subarctic continental climate zone, such phenomena used to be extremely rare. However, global warming and increased humidity are creating conditions for the formation of waterspouts and tornadoes in regions where they were once almost unheard of. This is yet another stroke in the bigger picture. Climate disasters are multiplying, while humanity remains indifferent. What's strange is that a huge number of intelligent and educated people fully understand what's happening. Terrifying events are unfolding, catastrophes are intensifying, countless lives are lost, divisions are growing. Yet society stays silent and takes no action. Isn't this a sign of a loss of humanity? Many are waiting for something extraordinary to happen, a planetary-scale disaster, or the death of a massive number of people. Only then, they believe, will people be shaken enough to awaken their empathy and motivate them to act. But in reality, that's not the case. Remember the boy from Afghanistan who lost almost his entire family? When we see one person's tragedy, compassion arises. But when it comes to thousands of victims, it's perceived as dry statistics. Empathy fades, replaced by fear. What if it happens to me? This is how the human psyche works. The larger the scale of the disaster, the less humanity it holds for us to grasp. In the age of climate catastrophes, this becomes especially acute. Mass loss of life stops eliciting a response, replaced instead by selfishness and fear for one's own survival. When we fail to respond to the pain of others and don't strive to help, we can't expect others to respond when we face hardship ourselves. This is how society risks gradually sliding into a state where personal interests come above all else, where people are willing to strip the elderly and children of even their last means for the sake of profit, and life itself loses its value. But is there anyone who would want to face adversity alone someday, without support or sympathy from those around them? Many try to live honestly and with integrity, but most settle for their small, comfortable worlds, loved ones nearby, harmony with nature, personal peace. And while everyone focuses only on themselves, the wider world continues to crumble, driven by our indifference. Today, it is the climate threat that demands our attention. Until we grasp its true scale, we won't be able to overcome the artificial conflicts and divisions created among us. To change the situation, the problem must become relevant to everyone, and that can only happen when people themselves start talking about it. We shouldn't wait for change to come from small groups, whether politicians, religious leaders, or influencers. The future depends on each and every one of us in whom humanity still lives.